All right, let's get it. What's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me make sure this is actually looking decent. I don't know why Cam's a little sideways, but we'll make it work. What's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just wanted to jump on another call with everybody. Identify the markets, look for some potential trades, some signals, any trades that I can add to the Auto Trader for Legacy students as well. But as I do that, I want to make sure that I can give the information, the needed knowledge on how to become more of a consistent and profitable trader. As I do my daily routine when it comes as far as trading is concerned, the one thing I like to do is just make sure that I give that knowledge and give that information back. I do think this is the best way to do that. So I want to make sure that I have everybody on here learning at the same time, making sure that we're all progressing and becoming consistent and more profitable day traders. Now, I do have a warning. I have my cat here, which is going insane. He kind of hurt himself, so gotta watch him closely. So if you see a cat just like pop up on screen, it's okay. He's everywhere with me right now. So just a little forewarning: if you see a creature just walk by, he's here. He's supposed to be here. But what's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody had a great 4th of July. I know I definitely did with the family as well. Leading into a new trading week after the holidays, such as July 4th, we definitely will be able to look for some opportunities. Volatility might not be the best, but we will be able to identify some things, really answer any and all questions that you guys have. That's the biggest thing. While we're on these calls, right before I jump onto this call, right before I jump on our YouTube lives, I'm doing a live session, a live futures trading session with students. So I have an idea of what the markets are going to be doing as far as the futures markets are concerned. But I also want to make sure that we're taking the time to look at the Forex markets. And I also want to make sure that I'm taking the time to look at something relevant, something that you guys want to see, something that you guys need help with. So if you have any questions, if you need help with anything, if there's something you don't quite understand as far as trading is concerned, please feel free to let me know. I am taking a look at the comments. And I'll go from there. But let me see. Nas is crazy right now. I haven't closed from morning session. Yeah, me neither. I haven't closed from the morning session. Boy, listen, better close soon. Don't let that trade reverse. We already made our money. That's the thing. Like, you understand, the way that we trade is there's no reason to close out. Our entries, the way that I trade, I kind of like show you here. I like to show you the actual thing, right? So we'll start off with Nas. Since we're speaking on that, we'll do a full breakdown on Nas 100. And we'll see exactly what this market's going to give us and go from there. But this is the one thing that I personally I try to install into all of my students, so all traders: patience. Right? You have to understand that when you're trading, there's a method to the madness. There's no such thing as a reversal, right? If it's going to buy, that's not a reversal. That's going to be considered a continuation because there is no sells on this whatsoever. I mean, we are in a current sell. We have made our money in our sells. We had a beautiful entry with our sells. So for us, that worked out. That's the main thing. I do understand futures is different from Forex. In a sense, but the concept's the same. The concept is the exact same. There's nothing different whatsoever. You're going to find the most high probable trade setup, and you're going to place that trade and hold it so it can make you money. That's it. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason to go against your analysis. If you go against your analysis and say close out so it doesn't reverse, and your analysis probably wasn't the correct way in the first place. That's just being real, you know. With the way that we trade is I'm looking for the best entries so that way it gives us enough room for the trade to breathe to continue to work for us. Meaning, so we'll break this down in total as far as what I believe Nas 100 or NQ, if you will, is going to happen or going to do in a sense of at least for right now, for today. Now, it doesn't mean that this is going to be the exact movement, that this is going to exactly happen, that I'm predicting this perfectly, but I'm using the clues and the signs that the market is leaving behind right now. So what I can see right now is, I mean, yes, overall, let's jump onto a higher time frame. That's the first thing you always want to do. Anytime you jump onto a chart, anytime you're looking to trade, you always want to make sure you understand the overall trend, right? The overall idea. This is what I mean. You got to be careful when you say don't let it reverse. That would just be a continuation because right now what we can see is without having to mark anything up, what can we identify? we can identify that this market right now is a current buy, right? I'm on a higher time frame, the daily, the weekly, even on the monthly. I mean, no matter what time frame you're looking at this, you can see significant buys. Don't go against that unless you have a strong reason to go against it. Now, even though we are in a bullish market, there are opportunities for this to push lower, to sell. So if I can see something like that, then that means there's opportunities on smaller time frames to identify potential ideas. So let me go ahead and delete that, and we'll scale down to a smaller time frame. We're on the weekly. Now I'm going to scale down to the daily. Not much here on the daily as far as detailed work, right? Something that we can identify where we can look for entries, something that we can be like, oh shit, you know what? This looks like a strong buy, but there might be a sell, because what happens after a strong impulsive move? We have an impulse or that low and an impulse of these highs. After an impulsive move, what you usually get is a retracement, a correction, a pullback, if you will, to another significant level of previous structure. I'm going to mark this here. I'm putting a line right there because this is a level of previous resistance that can act as a level of support, which is great, because for us, if we're looking at this on a smaller time frame and we can identify selling ideas, then we can say, well, maybe that corrective move is starting at least back down to here. That would not be considered a reversal. That'd still be considered a continuation. It's just the market doesn't work in a straight up and down fashion. So what I would be looking for is maybe a corrective move back down to here. Why? Good question. Let me answer that. So we scaled back down to the 4 hour. When we scale to the 4 hour, what can we see? Right? What's the biggest thing that we can identify? Well, right now, this is a level of structure. We can identify that by scaling down to a smaller time frame and getting a little bit more detail. Could we see that corrective move on the daily? Absolutely not. It looks like it's the same thing. When we scale down, this is why we got to use different time frames, understand how things work, because you're going to get more information, more detail. So not only are we creating a level of resistance here, what are we also creating? All right, there's the biggest thing when you're trading is identifying all the high probable clues that the market is leaving behind. So the one thing that we have, because we have a few, the biggest thing that we have is this level of resistance. The resistance being the main part, because if it couldn't break above that point before and it's struggling again, the possibility of it breaking through now is very weak. So the opportunity or a possibility for this push lower is great. What I'm also identifying is this wick to the upside. That wick to the upside is showing a level of rejection. Let's go ahead and write that down. Wicks equal rejection. So if I can see that wicks equal rejection, I'm at a level of strong structure, and I can also say when I scale down to a smaller time frame, such as the 1 hour, we have a double top, right? This is what I mean about don't just go into a market and say, oh, it's buying. No. Understand the actual market, what's actually happening, what the market and the clues are being left behind. Because if not, you're just going to fall into a trap and just be, oh, well, it's not selling when it is, right? We are at all-time highs here with NAS 100. We are hitting a level of strong resistance. We just had this candle close and it could not break above. We have a giant wick to the upside, and right now this candle is selling off, right? That's showing us a rejection, that buyers are no longer in control and sellers may be wanting to come back into this market. So yeah, no need to close out early, especially when we're looking at this in the majority of our entries, even though right now our entries are like here, right? Our stop losses, even if the stop losses were hit at break even, I know the way that I teach my students is anytime you can make a trade risk-free, do it. That should have probably been the first general take profits. I didn't think it was just going to stop there. But when we placed our trade, our stop losses were just above these highs, right? So yeah, we ended up in a little bit of drawdown. That's trading. Welcome, guys. Welcome to trading. A little bit of drawdown. But when the stock market opens, that's when the volatility is going to kick on in. And that's exactly what we saw. Right now, this level is holding perfectly. I know we do have a lot of students still in this, and yeah, I do believe that for the majority of the day, this is going to continue to sell, right? We have this double top here being definitely formed on the 1 hour, right? And what's going to confirm this double top is the break below this point here. Once we break below this level of structure, which this right here is actually our first take profits. So for any legacy students, if you're still in this trade, our first take profits are about to be smashed here in the futures market. If you're still in that, I know we had stops at break even and stuff, but still looking very good for this trade. So I do believe that NAS 100 will continue to at least push down to this level. If it breaks lower, then we could look for a potential reversal. That's how you're going to find a reversal, right? That's when you're going to be able to say, well, there's a change in the market direction when you have a break of structure, a new lower low, and then a lower high. And if it comes back to retest that price and cannot break above, then then we can consider that a potential reversal. And I say potential because with such a strong bullish market, I mean, even if it came back down to these lows, it still wouldn't be considered a reversal. It would still be considered respecting the structural highs and lows, as you can see, and continue to be bullish. But I do think that at least for right now, the clues that we are getting is NAS 100. It's kind of already there. It's reaching there. This will be the general structure that will determine what is going to happen next with this market. Meaning that if this is respected, then yes, absolutely, that this is going to end up looking as a more stronger buy. But if it is broken, then I would not be looking at this to close out. I would hold on to this trade. For any legacy student that's still in this trade, I would hold on to this trade for dear life up until the original take profits, where I believe will be, where it's highlighted. If that's broken, there's no reason for this to not push lower back down to at least this zone. Not specific points, but at least that area of structure. So yeah, just a good way to start it off as far as NAS 100, the analysis that's given. And yeah, let me see what we have in the chat real quick. Okay, got you. I do understand futures is different. Realistically, how many years did it take for you to learn trading in general? That's subjective. There's no, it could take somebody 3 months. It could take somebody 3 years, right? How bad do you fucking want it? That's really what it comes down to. Everybody's different. I know people who could learn. I know people who still don't know how to trade, and it's been 10 years. And then I know people who just started learning how to trade, and they're trading better than the majority of people that you see online, being very honest, right? So that's, I can't give you an answer on that. That really depends on the individual, that depends on the person. I can't sit back and say, oh, it's going to take you a year. No, absolutely not. Everything comes with experience and time. It goes the same thing with any job, right? You have a job, you're not going to be the best at it the first day, even if you have credentials, you got college, but once you get the use of it, once you get see it every day, once you put in the hours, that's when it becomes more easier. So if you're trading 2 hours a week, then you're probably not going to learn how to trade that quickly. But if you're taking the time to study, be on the markets, have experience, do all this, then it'll probably take you a lot faster. It'll take you a little bit quicker to comprehend and get everything. So that depends on the person. I can't really give you a solid answer on that. Got stopped out from it, man. Really? This is what I always tell you. Stop losses at break even. No matter what, our futures trade today, NAS 100, that should have never been a loss, right? This is why I'm always advising stop loss, break even. Our entries were somewhere here. Our stops were over here somewhere. I know a lot of individuals, I even told you guys I moved my stop loss a little bit and I was able to at least take profits from down here. I did actually get, not that low. It was around here if I'm correct. So still a good trade. This is what I mean about like at least moving your trade to stop, or your stop loss to break even in events like this. And especially why I always advise you guys is right before the stock market opens, look what happens. That volatility just gets crazy. This is why I'm also debating if we should move our futures trading sessions to around this time, because as you see here, the volatility is a lot better. Still a little wonky, still a little crazy, but in the sense of at least volatility, movement, this is probably the better idea. So if you ever are trading with me, and I know I always say it on every single session, stop loss to break even if you can to keep your trade risk free. That goes for Forex as well. You're not going to sit here and just place a trade and allow it to just go against you. I'm pretty sure I'm still in this trade because I personally did not leave a stop loss on. That's just a personal thing for me because I wanted to allow the market to run. I believed in my analysis. Thankfully, I did. So yeah, let me see what else. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely paying attention. I'm definitely taking a look at the chat. I want to make sure I'm speaking on relevance as well, but I do want to take a look at gold actually really fast. There is a potential idea that I'm looking at here with gold, so I want to go over this and make sure that everybody has a strong understanding of what I do believe will happen next with gold. Now, as I explain this, I am taking a look at the chat, so if you have anything, feel free to let me know. I want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance, but as I do that, I'll break down gold and see what we have for the day. Now, I do believe that gold will end up actually turning into a pretty significant sell here as well, for a few reasons. For one, if we look at gold right now, we'll actually scale out to the higher time frames, being the monthly or 12 months. Apparently that took a while. So 12 months. So the reason why I'm on the 12 months is because what you can see currently is just the trend, the direction of the market, right? Somebody said we got to get more people on these lives. I mean, organically it'll grow. When I put out value, if I consistently do this, if I make people money, if I'm transparent, then yeah, people will be there. We just started this, so I'm not really concerned about that. What I'm concerned is at least putting people into the right direction. And as I do that, as I assist and I give the value, we'll just organically grow. I'm not worried about it. But if you guys can, like the video. It definitely helps. It'll help us grow. It'll help our reach. Subscribe, do all that jazz. I just want to really make sure that I'm assisting to the best of my abilities and answering any and all questions. Same thing with this, right? With gold. I personally had a question on gold, and I also did want to take a look at it. And one of the questions I always get is, Jay, when is this going to sell? When you're in a trending market, such as this, such a strong bullish market, you could never sit back and say, oh, it's going to sell from here, there's going to be a reversal, unless you have strong ideas, something significant, something telling you what's initially going to happen next. Because what we're doing is, when we're trading, we're trying to tell the future, right? We're trying to predict what's going to happen next. So I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't got a crystal ball. I don't got one of those cool little hats. You know what I mean? But what I can say is, when I scale down to a smaller time frame, there are some clues being left behind. So when we look at this, yes, very bullish, extremely bullish. But the one thing I'm seeing is that this has a strong impulse, and it stopped right here. So let's label this as our resistance. So that being a level of resistance, that's telling me that the market is having a little bit of trouble from breaking above that point. And if I can see that, then I'm going to start to try to identify some other technical factors that can play a role in the idea of maybe this can sell. Maybe this does give us an idea that this market can push a little bit lower, because right now we're in a strong buyer's market, and going against the trend is probably not the best idea. But if I can scale down, what do I see on the daily? Which is a very strong idea. So much so that TradingView has its own tool for it. So we do in fact have a head and shoulders pattern. The head and shoulders pattern is considered a reversal pattern at a level of structure. What we're also looking at is this market is currently hitting another level of resistance, not these highs up here, but at least this level of structure here, which is the most important. Because anytime you're dealing with the head and shoulders pattern, whenever you're trying to identify the actual break, or if it is a confirmed head and shoulders pattern, is if it's respecting the price of the left shoulder. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to delete the structure above. The reason why I'm deleting this structure above is because the head of the head and shoulders pattern is a fake out and is not considered the actual structure and resistance. The price of the left shoulder is. So we're getting that respect here. So if I'm seeing that and I scale down even further, what can I see here? Right now we can do a little bit more analysis. We can start to identify a little bit more. This is why we have to use each time frame to tell us its idea. So I'm adding this trend line here. Now the reason why I'm adding this trend line, if you want to also see the reason why it's confirmed, is we have our base, the start, we have our secondary, self-explanatory, the second touch of the trend line, and the trigger, or the confirmation that this trend line is in fact valid, and you could have placed an entry from there. But that's also considered the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern. I'd probably make it a little bit better. Let me see if I can do something like this. My tools want to work. There we go. I'd probably even do something like that as far as the neckline is concerned of this, but I still like this overall. So we'll keep this. We'll have our inner trend line, and then we'll keep our outer trend line right here. So these are considered the necklines, or the neckline of this pattern. More of the inner trend line, I will believe, is the neckline. Let's see. Oh, probably not. So the outer trend line, this one. So I'll delete this. Excuse me. So this will be the actual neckline of that pattern. So what I'm expecting is something like this. Comes back down, no matter where it comes through. Even if it wants to come back down and break the neckline there, respect that structure, we can identify something like this. Let's say if it does, just for educational purposes and visual, looks better like this. It reaches there and it comes back to at least the trend line and also the level of structure of the left shoulder. That will be a very good entry for us to identify and look at for gold to the downside. Because even on the smaller time frames, I know we were looking at a head and shoulders pattern on the daily, or the 4 hour rather, daily and 4 hour. What we can also identify is the head and shoulders pattern here on the 1 hour. So there's multiple ways, there's multiple patterns showing us that gold is losing a lot of volume, and we should be looking for potential sells. So I do like this idea. I do want to see if this can continue. For anybody that's associating the Discord, I will make sure that I put this in the Discord as a signal. If in fact this does fruition, there may be an earlier trade setup as well, being the fact that we have now created a impulse low. This could come back to that level of structure. So I will be looking more along the lines of a risky trade setup. So this is exactly what it's going to look like. since we have hit a level of structure or created a level of structure, we have broken and created at least a low from this point. If we can get a retest from there, I'll go ahead and look for potential entries. Always got to add a Fibonacci retracement ratio. That's just a rule of thumb for me. Like I personally just like fibs. It just adds with the confluence. So anytime I see, a fib at a level of structure, I'm going to look for an entry around that zone, around that area. So what I'll be looking for, this being the strong sell area. Strong sell area. Because obviously right now, this is giving us a corrective move after an impulse. That corrective move will stall out somewhere and hopefully give us a push to the downside. But yeah, with gold, I do believe that that's probably our best bet. I'll go ahead and re-add our trend line because that's definitely a part of our full analysis. What I might end up doing is I might actually go ahead and sell this on stream with you guys. Where did I originally have that trend line? There we go. I just got to make sure it's perfect. The last thing I ever want to do is give advice or knowledge or any type of value and it just be completely off. So I'm just going to add that there. Oh, not the 1 minute, the 1 hour. There we go. I do like that. We may actually go ahead and be looking for a trade to be placed here on the stream. I do like this area for a potential sell. So, and then if not, this will be our next sell point, these highs. That would be a strong sell area. This would be stronger sell area because obviously selling from a higher point is always better. But I will go ahead and take a potential sell here from that area if in fact it does look favorable. Again, impulsive moves to the downside. We have hit a valid trend line. That the impulsive move is now tired and that corrective move is now starting. And if I do see this correctly, I do believe that even based off the higher time frames and the clues that are left behind, this will sell much, much lower. So gold may be the initial reversal that you guys were wanting and looking at. But yeah, any questions, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely available. I am taking a look at the chat. I want to make sure that I'm answering any and all questions of relevance and looking at the markets you guys would like to see. But as we wait, since I don't have anything, let me see what else we got. Now I am just going to skim through the chart, see what we got, if there is any potential ideas. Now for me, I want to take this time while we're on these calls, on these sessions, to really look for any signals that I could send up in our Discord, any trades I could place in our auto trader as well. So a lot of your questions are going to help out big time, not even just for me, but for you, because I'll be able to place those trades for students, but at the same time, you'll be getting that knowledge and be able to understand like, oh snap, he placed that profitable trade because of this, for that reason, I can do that myself now too as well. But yeah, if you have anything, feel free. If not, it is Monday. It is a very slow day, especially after the holidays. I mean, the markets aren't going to give us too much, but I do want to see if there is anything for us. We are looking at a sell on GU as well. Obviously in a little bit of drawdown, but that's okay. That's how trading works. It's not always going to be perfect, but GJ or GU rather, we are in a current sell. So if you guys want to take that, that's on you. I don't believe you should take a late trade, but I do want to see what initially happens in these markets. But it seems like everybody's good. Let me actually go back to GJ. So Gbpjpy is one of my favorite markets to trade, and how these yen pairs have been working, with how volatile to the upside, how bullish they have been. I want to see if we can continue in that fashion, or if there's a potential reversal happening, so that way we could obviously get in the bigger move. Now, me being on the 1 hour, or the higher time frame rather, I see there is a strong trend, a bullish trend, but I'm going to scale down to a smaller time frame so that way I can identify more detail. Now, as far as detail is concerned with this, I don't see too much, especially with the lack of volatility. But what I am going to be looking at is this idea here, right? A potential breakout pattern. Now, am I going to sell from this area? Absolutely not. But what I will be looking for is if this can push back lower to here, I'll be looking for a buy. And we'll just kind of like add this structure here as well. So I'm adding structure here. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play out as far as the structure is concerned, but I do believe with the trend line idea, with this breakout pattern idea, we should be looking for another strong push to the upside. So our best buy entries would be here. Again, just marking things up, going over things of value, just conducting my normal routine as I would for students, so that way I can identify trades. But again, I want to make sure that I am teaching and assisting to the best of my ability. So if you have anything, feel free to let me know. I had to learn that patience is key, even as much as I hate it sometimes. Yeah, patience is everything that we need when it comes to life. So definitely a lesson learned from me as well. But yeah, If you have anything, feel free to let me know. I don't see really much else. I did want to make sure that I took the time out to jump on a call, jump on a stream, assist, answer any and all questions that you guys may have. But let's see. I don't see him. Oh, AUDJPY. This is actually something I did want to take a look at. So we'll take a look at AJ, all yen pairs for that matter. So I might actually go ahead and look for some sells here on AUDJPY. Just a very simple concept. Again, higher time frames, we can see that is extremely bullish. Got it. But at the same time, it's not going to remain bullish. So I do want to see if there's any potential sells that can spring up from here. This being the best sell area. All right. Now, if you guys are like, really, that's how you trade? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, trading is as easy as you want to make it. But if you want to sit back and say, oh, ICT and, you know, market maker method and break of character, change of structure, that gets confusing at times. The majority of all in any strategy that you ever look at when it comes to any market, options, Forex, binary, does not matter. It all revolves around price and that strategy, right? And a discipline. But even with that strategy and discipline, you're still revolving around a price, around structure, around what the market is leaving behind. So if I'm looking at AUDJPY and I can see that this level of resistance was held then, and then, it's probably going to be held again. So what I do want to see is if AUDJPY can't come back to these highs in this little consolidation, so that way we can look for our potential sells. So another solid idea. I'll put this in the Discord for everybody as well. I'll make sure that everybody can see this in Discord. I'll post analysis. If we do place a trade, I'll be sure to take a record a video on the trade itself, breaking it down and the reasoning behind it. So that way, if it is profitable, you guys understand. And if it's not, maybe you could throw some things away from that video. So that way you don't use it and stay and remain consistent. Very valuable information this morning. Appreciate that. Thank you. I try, man. A lot of, especially right now when there's no trades, a lot of people when they trade, they're thinking, oh, I'm on the markets, trade here, trade. That's not really the case. Right, especially on a Monday, low volatility, especially after holiday, low volatility. But this is the time where you identify, and this is a good time that if you don't understand things, you can go ahead and practice. If you don't know how to use a fib, go ahead and practice. If you don't know the tools in your toolbox, go ahead and practice. I just want to really make sure that everybody understands that trading is, yes, very profitable. You can make a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not a trade-off. It's not 20 trades a day, every second. It's always about being patient and allowing the setup to come to you. But I do think we may actually have a setup. I know I'm just like clicking through, but I want to see if there's anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put a signal out for students for a sell here on gold. And this is what the trade will look like. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to remain patient and see if there is a trade setup that can happen here on gold as far as a sell is considered. So that way I can go ahead and get students in it. Now, what I will also do is for you guys that are on, if you are in the Discord, great. If not, make sure that you are. If you aren't, hit me up so that way I can send you the link if you haven't gotten it off our Facebook already. But I'll be sure to put the analysis. And if this is going to be a trade, I'll put the signal out for everybody so you guys can take it and make some money off of this as well. But any questions, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. Those take profit levels are insane. That's how I trade. This is what I mean about like just make it easy. You know what I mean? Like why this will be your first take profit. Why would that be? Because of structure. You can buy from there. This will be my second take profit. Why? Because that's structure. You can buy from there. Same thing here. I'm just identifying these lows because it's the lowest point that I can see that the market is probably going to gravitate towards. You can take profit at any one of these points, but how I trade, I just hold. I will always be a swing trader. That's the biggest thing. I will let the market work for me. I will never work for the market. I'm never going to place a trade and then or 5 trades, and then give it all back to the market within the 6th trade. I'm always going to look for the best, most high probable trade setup. And if I can hold that for a day, 2 days, a week, I'm going to. And if I don't have to do anything else for that week and just make money and just chill, I'm going to. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if you see somebody their take profit and stop loss looks like this, run very far away because they have no idea what they're doing. That just means that they're kind of assuming, they're kind of guessing. There's no real plan. But when you have an idea that, oh shit, well, if it sells, it could hit these levels of structure because that's the only place it's familiar with on its way down there. So that's just my rule of thumb. But yeah, any other questions? Anything else you guys got? Feel free. Seeing what else we got. I do like these sells on these yen pairs right now, to be completely honest. I'm really liking these. Yeah, it does seem as if yen has the better opportunities for the day. You got that right? Yeah. Let me see. But yeah, nothing else really. I just wanted to jump on a call. I figured today, I should have told you guys it's going to be a short session. Not the best idea. So the only ideas I do have is gold sells, GJ sells, and AUD JPY sells. That's probably the only thing I'd be looking for. But besides that, I got nothing. If you have anything, feel free to let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. I am taking a look. I want to make sure that I'm helping and assisting everybody. If not, we'll conclude for today. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the time, giving you guys answers with any questions that you guys have. The more that we grow, the more that we have, or more people that we have on these calls, obviously the longer that I will stay on and remain on these calls, the more value that I'll be putting out and the more profits you guys will be making as well. So just please make sure that you are in our Discord so you stay updated with anything and everything. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm not liking any markets right now. The volatility is not there, at least for majority of markets. We go take a look at the yen pairs, not the DXY. The yen pairs, these things are just going, which is insane. So I might be looking at sells on that. And then gold is looking very nice for sells. I'm not going to lie. So those are probably going to be the best ones. So I'll leave these in the Discord for everybody. AUD JPY, gold, and what was the other one? CAD JPY? Yes, CAD JPY. So these would be the best ones that I think that you could trade for the day, and these should be sells. So if you can identify entries, you're perfect. If this does fruition as far as a buy is considered and set up, then we could do that. But right now, I do think that the best pairs, the best markets to trade are yen pairs, because they will continue to push down lower. CJ said, no questions. Keep doing your thing, boss. You deserve all your flowers. I got to get my day. Be blessed. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Big time. Should one always wait for a candle to close, confirm? No, not at all. You can wait for a candle to close. If it breaks above, then probably, but no, not really, man. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with every single person here. A lot of what we have been taught in the early years of trading and candle this, candles are extremely important. Don't get it twisted. I use candlesticks as analysis as far as, an entry is concerned, but am I waiting for a specific candle? No. Am I waiting for any candle? Yes. I don't give a fuck what kind of candle it is. It doesn't have to be a Marabotsu or engulfing or what's the best candle. Doesn't matter, man. You know what I mean? It's gonna give you a read. It's gonna give you a signal. But are you going to wait for a candle to close on such a higher time frame like this? Probably not. If you're dealing with small time frames like we do on the futures markets, probably, because you're looking at such a small time frame that anything can happen. It could be a buy and a sell all in the same hourly candle. You could literally have two trends. You have a whole downtrend, a whole bullish market right after, all in the same candle. So maybe on the smaller time frame, but as far as am I personally waiting for a candle close for my entries, I am not. If you personally are a trader who is just using candlestick patterns and those type of things, then yeah, who am I to tell you not to? But am I personally waiting for a candle? No, I'm not. I'm trusting my analysis, right? When it reaches these price points, the market is not bouncing off of your trend line. The market is not understanding or even seeing what a fucking candlestick is, right? But what it is seeing is price. It reaches that price and then it gives you action. This is why it's called price action trading. You're identifying the most relevant level of price, support, resistance, and the actions that have previously happened there and that are going to currently or will happen again at that price. So am I going to give a fuck about a candle close? No. What I'm going to care about is the market reaching that point and giving me all the other clues that are going to be needed, right? Fibonacci's, trend lines, time frames, the time of day, the session you trade. Those are the things that you need to take into consideration, not just a candlestick close. There's so much other things that need to be looked at, and a candle close is not going to give you any information or confirmation that you would need to confidently place a trade. It's going to be an accumulation of confluence, not just one thing. So good question. Hopefully I answered it, but yeah, just be very careful with things like that, right? Because a lot of the time what ends up happening is also, let me wait for this candle to close. It'll close, and then you miss that move, and then you think it's going to continue, and it doesn't, right? You're like, should I miss it? But it's going to continue. Make sure, you have to make sure that when you're placing an entry, you're confident on it based off of multiple factors, not just one. But yeah, hopefully I answered it. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know, guys. I got you. Just taking a quick look at these yen pairs. I do want to take a look at gold as we're on, because there could be an entry literally roughly around this area. I'm not even joking. I'm probably going to tell students to sell gold here in a bit. I'll put it in the Discord for everybody. But yeah, this does look like a good idea to the downside. And especially like we look left, man, this just looks as if it's just stagnant and stuck around this area. And if you haven't already, if you do like the information, if you are getting some value, I know it's just a very new stream. I know it's not that many people on right now. I know the quality is probably not the best as a lot of people are used to with like lights and shit in the background. I'm not worried about the visuals. I'm worried about the actual information and knowledge that's given. And obviously the success that people have while being on this stream. So if you can, please like the video, subscribe, share, do whatever, do that jazz, whatever the YouTubers be saying. But it definitely helps. It goes a long way, especially because if we get more people on these calls, imagine the type of amazing questions that they will be asking as well, and the amazing answers that I can give to them, and also the amount of profits that could be made. And the more people we have on these, the longer I will be on, the more information I can give. And also if the markets were a little bit more volatile and giving us better movement, I could actually be giving you guys trades as well. But right now, as far as trading is concerned, I don't see much. I just like the gold sells. I like the GJ sells. I like the Gbpjpy sells, and I like the AUDJPY sells. They're pretty much all sells for the day. We have been rallying to the upside pretty hard. So I do want to make sure that what we're doing is looking at the right idea, looking at the right direction of the market, but also making sure that you guys are profitable as well. Let me see something real quick in the chat. Can you see NQ? I just did. I literally went over NQ. And you said, I am trying to do analysis for the 1 hour, and we have rejections, but the candle that is running right now respected a zone. All right, good question. What's the question? You answered your own question literally with asking it. It respected the zone. That's it. Like we said this morning, it's in a ranging market. It is ranging from that range high to this range low. It respected that range. That's it. You know what I mean? What's the question with it? I want to make sure that I'm answering it correctly and like in a way that you'll understand. But yeah, that's exactly what I said too. I was like, we're in this ranging market right now. So the only idea that you're going to have is where the true direction is going to lie, is if it breaks out of either direction. That's the only thing you could wait for, right? Now, obviously, we're in a strong bullish market. So if you're looking at a smaller time frame, if you're doing your own individual trading and you want to place a buy, obviously your buys will be, from that range. Can you see? Oh, I'm just making sure that I was answering that again. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to answer that, to be honest, because it did respect that range. It did respect the range high. Right now it is 8:30, at least my time. Stock markets had opened an hour ago, so the volatility is all over the place. This market right now is trying to decide on which direction it wants to go. In order for us to do that, just keep it very simple. If it breaks above the level of structure highs, it's going to buy. If it breaks above or below the level lows, it's going to sell. That's it. And so then you trade the range. Don't confuse yourself. Make trading easy. That's the shit that I was telling you guys this morning. All right? Don't overcomplicate any of your trading. If it respected the range low, what do you do at a range low? You buy. If you had a range high, what do? You sell. Very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You're looking at it correctly, but you're second guessing what you're seeing. Don't do that. Because when you do that, you're not going to be able to, 1, pull the trigger and place a trade. 2, not be confident in your analysis. 3, stay confused. Right? You're just always going to remain confused. Like, damn, well, it did this and it did that. What's next? Well, you already said it. Right? We don't know what's going to happen next. But when it hits these points, like you said, that's what you need to pay attention to. That's where your entries are. That's where you're going to make your money. Right? Oh, it respected the zone low. Why didn't you buy? All right? That's the question. You answered it. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything that you see here, your markup is not just a fucking markup. I'm going to keep it very, very, very real, very transparent. You're not marking up a chart for fucking fun. You're not marking it up because the colors are cool. You're not marking it up to show your friends. You're marking it up because everything in that chart should be considered an entry. Why are my levels marked up this way? Why don't I have anything else? Why do I not have fibs? Why don't I have all these change of characters and all these? Why does my charts not look like this all the time? All weird and indicated, because that's not what's going to help. That's not what's going to give you a bunch of money. What is, though, is when you mark up your chart in a fashion where you're looking to enter. As a student, or as you guys being students, I know we have a lot of students on here. Where are the majority of our entries? At highs and at lows. So what does that mean? If I identify this as the range high, also means sell entry. All right? Let's keep it super fucking simple. Super simple. I am at a level of resistance. Am I going to buy at a level of resistance? Absolutely not. But if I can identify structure points, this is a structure point. Every range has a median If you don't know what that means, is this is the range high, this is the range low. But in every range, there's like that pivot. There's something, there's more, there's that one other structure in the middle that combines it all. You just missed a buy entry. This is what I mean. Identify where your entries are going to be also with your markup. So again, this is the range high. That is a sell entry. This is a range low. Also means buy entry. And this is all in case, this is all in the event that structure is not broken. So in times like this is what I mean. It's like, it's not always what I'm looking for, but in certain situations, it could be subjective where you will have to wait for a candle close, right? Because right now, this candle was pushing up higher and it closed below level of structure, which warranted in sellers. That candle close definitely dictated and helped in the idea of maybe sellers could not push, or buyers could not push this higher and sellers want to take over. But that goes for the same thing here, right? It respected what used to be a level of structure. Let's go ahead and replay that. That was structure. It was resistance until it wasn't, until it broke above. And you're never going to get a weak break above. That is a pretty significant break above. And we're also getting a retest. That test of structure is an entry. I want everybody to understand that. That is a entry. If you are looking at, placing your trades based off of just price and structure. Obviously, there's going to be more things that come into play. You can scale down small time frames, look for, further analysis. But in the sense of marking up your chart, you need to mark up your chart in the sense of where you would like to buy and sell. You're not just marking it up because it looks cool. Each part of your analysis, each thing that you're marking up is supposed to be considered an area of a point of interest for an entry point. So just be very, very, cognizant of that and make sure that you're entering your trades at these levels. Should one just close to be sure, and then maybe if I see change re-enter? I'm unsure what you mean by that. If you're in a trade right now, this is one thing. If you're in a trade and you're in profits, why the fuck close out, right? That means you're right. If you're in profits, are you in profits right now, Gabriel? If you're in profits on a trade, then why close out? That you don't even have to ask that question, because if you're in a trade that's making money, that means everything that you had predicted was right. Don't go back and second guess. Feel confident and trust your analysis. Stay patient. If you can go, so you said, yeah, so then don't ask those questions. I'm telling you, and this is me being very real. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys like little pieces of information that you're probably not going to get elsewhere, because this is the psychology aspect, right? We're talking about the psychology aspect right now in trading. Why would you close out a trade if you're in profits? That means you are currently correct and could make more money. If you are trading and you have one entry and you find another entry, then yes, you can re-enter if you find another entry. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it has to be based off of your analysis. And if you're correct, I'm saying this respectfully, if you're correct, don't fucking ask somebody else, because that person might give you completely different information. You go ahead, you close out, you think you're wrong, and that shit just goes in your favor even more. What was a $100 win could have been a $10,000 win. Don't do that. I'm telling you that from my experience as well. If you're trading, if you're in profits, that means you were right. Don't second guess it. Don't ask anybody else. Move your stop loss to a profitable fashion, or at least break even. So in the event if the world blows up, at least if the world ends, your trade, at least we can all go out knowing your trade is fine, right? So that's the biggest thing. Let me just make sure I'm rereading that correctly. Should one just close to be sure, and then maybe? Oh, I see what you're saying. No, what's the point? What is the point? That's the thing. You should be sure the moment you place that fucking trade, right? You can't just be like, I guess, and then place it. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, it's gonna sell, and then you place it. No, you're not entering a trade based off of a guess. You should be entering a trade based off of the actual information and confidence that that's going to win for you. Now, if you're going to, let me close out. I'm making $1,000 in profit. Let me close out just so that way I can make sure that you're in $1,000 profit. You're right. You're correct. Don't second guess it. That is super, super important. Do not do that. You'll fuck your shit up. Big, 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 big time. You know what I mean? Always trust your analysis, guys. Patience is also the biggest thing when it comes to trading. You know what I mean? Like I know when we trade, we want to make money, but that's not always the case, right? There's not always going to be a trade every single day. There's not always going to be a setup. But when you are in a setup, when you trust your trade, everything works out beautifully the way that you had it. Trust it, let it ride, make your money, let the markets work for you. We don't work for the markets. That's the biggest thing. But yeah, hopefully I answered your question. But if you have any others, feel free to let me know. I got you guys. Just seeing what we got. I'm just seeing if there's any potential trades for the day. I don't really see much, to be honest. I just saw that gold, the GJ, and the AJ trade, and the Gbpjpy. So I know I'm skimming through these charts really quickly, but with trading, it's kind of like you kind of have to be you got to be on top of shit. I do like these buys setting up here on USD CHF as well, so that might be something I'll be looking at for students for a potential entry on this. Actually, I do like that a lot. Again, as you see, my trading's it's not complicated. It's very easy. Don't have a million and one things. We can make trading extremely difficult, right? We can add things like fib wedges. I have no idea how to use that. Don't ask me. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many tools in trading that I see individuals want to use, but at times it's just like, why put so much effort in something that makes no sense when you could keep it as simple as possible? Everything is always going to revolve around a price level, identify the actions from there, and then there's your entry. So yeah, hopefully that kind of makes sense. Hopefully it helped individuals. If so, feel free to let me know. I definitely want to make sure that you guys are learning. If you can, again, like the video, that'll let me know that you guys are enjoying, at least, and getting some knowledge. That's the biggest thing. I want to make sure that every session that we do, every session that we conduct, there's always some piece of knowledge being given to you guys, and that way you guys can go ahead and make as much profits as possible. Closed the funded on 6:30, and I'm doing a new challenge. You're up 23. Okay, cool. Good shit. Nice. Hell yeah. I don't know why you would close if you're in profits. Let me see. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's no reason to close out, man. There's literally, my entire analysis was saying that NAS 100 or NQ is going to sell. Especially like now, look, you just broke that structure. Don't close, man. Always remain patient with your trading. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you're correct on your trading, what the fuck? Don't back out. You just made 630 on a funded and 2300 on a challenge. When I believe that this could push down much lower, you could probably have passed that funded and made a lot more than 630. Don't get it twisted. 630 is still great for the day. 2300 for a combine as well is great too. But patience, man, patience. Always let your trades, let your runners run, let your winners win. Don't just back out. I know that sometimes we do get fearful. Oh shit, I'm up. What happens? Don't. Because how many times it's probably going to kick you in the ass right now? How many times will we close out? Me included. You know what I mean? I do it with sessions with you guys all the time. I'll move my stop loss to break even. My stop loss gets hit, and then, you know, in a little bit of profits, and the shit just fucking runs. Could have had a $10,000 day or for one trade. So be very, very cognizant of that. Just, you know, take note of that. If you're in a trade, if you are correct, if you are in profits, if it's doing everything that you had, you know, put your analysis towards, hold it. Hold it. Do not do anything else. Or if anything, just move your stop loss and just keep moving and moving it and moving it as you follow the market. So that way, if your stop loss is hit, you're just making the most out of the entire move, and your trade is still considered risk-free, and nothing can happen to it. So that's very important that you guys understand at least that small concept. Because look, even right now, am I telling you to re-enter this? Absolutely not. But in the concept of what trading is, that is a break and a retest of previous structure. That can also give you a potential sell idea. So if you were selling this and your entry is like over here, potential opportunity for that could be more downside. And look at that. We're also getting rejection from there already. And I'm only on the minute time frame. So this time frame is fickle, right? It's weak. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold. But the analysis that we do on higher time frames should and can and always will work when you translate it to these smaller time frames. So yeah, just be very careful with that. Make sure you're identifying the best trading opportunities and you're going with the initial trend of the market. But yeah, any other questions? Anything else you guys got for me? Feel free to let me know. I definitely want to make sure that I'm assisting and helping to the best of my abilities. But yeah, if you have anything, look at that. Almost reached our sell area. So depending, for legacy students, you might actually have a signal coming out here for gold sells. Nothing yet, but the possibilities there. Let me see what we have in the chat. I got good info. Hell yeah. If you got good info, give your boy a like. Give me a thumbs up. It helps big time. Again, it's just because I want to make sure that we grow this organically. I want to make sure that, you know, as we grow, I'm making sure that we build a community based around just specifically traders, no MLM, no recruiting. I want this community to be built just strictly around traders. And what's going to end up happening is as we build this community, even just the free community, it doesn't even have to be the VIP. We're going to have traders just bouncing ideas off of like this, where we'll bounce ideas off of each other in our track. This is my Discord, just that way you guys can see, but we're always like, you know, throwing ideas, information. But the biggest thing too is if we had our community with everybody just as profitable traders, we'll have so many people just discussing trades and discussing profits here. And that's what I want for students. That's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be able to have an outlet, a resource to ask questions, get information, get value, but also be in a community where everybody's looking out for each other just based off of the profits that can be made with trading. So definitely, if you guys if you can't do all that jazz, that'd be great. I definitely want to expand, grow this so that way it benefits everybody, more you than me, than anything, honestly. So definitely, I would appreciate that. But yeah, thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate you guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know, guys. I'm definitely here. I want to make sure, again, that I'm assisting, giving you guys the best information that I possibly can, and helping to the best of my abilities. But right now, I don't see anything else. There might be some trade setups for legacy students. So as you see here, we have signals and everything. I'll go ahead and put the signals that we have here. If I do find any signals here, I'll put them in the Discord. What I'll also do is I'm going to make a free section in the Discord where I'll put at least 1 or 2 signals a week where I believe they could hit anywhere between 250 to 500 pips just off of that trade. So even 1 to 2 trades a week with us on the free aspect could definitely give you a lot of benefit, a lot of value. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving that back out for you guys as well. But if you have anything, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. If not, we'll conclude for today. I want to make sure that, again, I find some trades for our auto trader. If there is any signals, I'll post those up for you guys as well. But with that being said, if you have anything, feel free to let me know. And I just got my email saying that my take profit trader is complete. So just real quick, I've been testing out, seeing what the best prop firms or future prop firms are. And I just used another one this past week. It was supposed to be a minimum of 5 trading days with a profit target of 3,000. As you see right here, that profit target is 3,000. You see some of the orders here, count summary, blah, blah, blah. Just full transparency, you know what I mean? So a lot of these trades were just straight bangers. I only place like a few trades a day, 1 or 2 trades, or maybe even 3 at times, and just let them ride. And we were able to pass this funded challenge pretty easily, to be honest. And then also with this prop firm is they have daily payouts. So if you are able to pass and you trade the very first day on your funded account, there's no restriction, there's no days or window period that you have to request a withdrawal. You could take a withdrawal as many. You could take out 5 withdrawals in one day if you wanted to, if you had the profits for it. So that's what I do like about this prop firm so far. I have not received a payout from them, only because, again, I just got funded with them literally as we were on. I just got the email for it. And also what's great about them is there's no activation fee. So when you use a promo code, if anybody wants that promo code, just let me know. I'll post the promo code in the Discord, in our VIP Discord. If you personally would like it, just feel free to hit me up. I'll get you that discount code for you, but it's 40% off, and you also get free activation fees for the rest of your life, meaning you can go ahead and pass 10 combines. You won't have to pay an activation fee for any one of those. So I do like that concept. I'm going to take a look at this, see how my trading can go on that funded account, and see if I can get a payout with them as well. I've been paid out by Apex Funded Trader and also by Top Step. So those are my 2 top, no pun intended, my top prop firms. But I do want to see if this prop firm is just as good. You know what I mean? Because if I could take a withdrawal every day, that'd be great from a prop firm. So that'd be outstanding. Yes, send it. Let me know. Just hit me up. I'm going to post everything in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you need that promo code and the prop firm, let me know. I definitely got you. I'll send everything needed. But right now, this is the only thing I'm looking at, right? I don't see much else. Again, the only thing I'm looking at is gold sells, GJ sells, CAD-JPY sells, and AUD-JPY sells. Those are probably the best markets that we can identify as far as technical analysis and the idea that we could potentially have a move, especially from these highs. This will be considered a cheap trade, or all the trades that we're looking at are cheap trades, meaning that we're trading at highs and or lows, and our risk reward is stellar, right? If we were to go ahead, and we're not placing a trade, so please do not sell this. This is just an example. If we were to go ahead and place a sell here, our stop loss is going to go right above there. That's about 25 pips, almost 26, right? But our take profit, that's our first take profit. That's what I mean by a cheap trade, where our stop loss is very minimal and our take profit is gigantic, where we're going to make the most out of this entire move. And if we did lose this, we're not going to lose a lot. So the risk reward is always favorable in that idea. So this right here, AUD-JPY, CAD-JPY, Gbpjpy, and gold are the best markets that I can identify right now. And I do believe for those specific markets, we will be looking at potential sells. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Still have me on the call. If not, we'll conclude for today. I'll be catching back up with you guys first thing tomorrow morning as well. For legacy students, we will be jumping on our futures call first thing tomorrow morning before we even do our YouTube, just so that way I know you guys are set, making money, getting funded. If you are funded, you're making progress towards your withdrawal. What I will be doing also is I'll keep you guys updated with the take profit or the prop firm. I can't even talk, with the prop firm that I'm using that I just got funded with. If they are great, I'll make sure that obviously I'll keep you all updated with that. If they don't pay out, I'll also let you guys know that they suck. But right now, very good with them. So I do want to see how that plays out. I'll be trading this futures account with everybody as well on our live sessions. If you want to trade futures live with us every single day, we go Monday through Friday. Please feel free to hit me up. Always let me know. I definitely got you. We do have tons and tons of results. I have tons of transaction histories of all trades, all funded accounts, and even combines. I'll even show you the failed combines if you wanted to. It's all about transparency and value. But if you do want to trade futures with us, I think we've only had 4 losing days, and we've been trading for about 4 months now. Let that kind of sink in right there, right? We're not going to win every day. We do take losses, but even if we do take a loss, I'm looking for another trade to make that loss back and then some. We have people getting funded in days. If you're on Apex, some people are getting funded within that one trading session. And now people who are funded, they're getting their withdrawals, which is beautiful. So if you do want to trade futures with us, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. If there is any other questions, feel free to let me know. Also, I'm taking a quick look at the chat before we conclude. If there is anything, I'll be sure to answer. If not, we're good for the day. I don't see much else, though. Not much movement in the markets, especially, again, after the holidays, and it is Monday. Not too much. The markets are pretty hungover right now. There's like a 4th of July weekend, but still pretty good. We might have some opportunities. I'll be sure to post those up for you guys as well. But it does seem like everybody's good. Again, I'm just skimming through the charts really quick, see if there's anything. But again, this lack of volatility, these ranging markets, not really giving us anything but these yen pairs. The yen pairs and gold are probably my favorite markets to look at and for potential trade setups. So if you are looking at those, I'm looking at sells on all of those markets. But with that being said, looks like everybody is Gucci. We'll conclude for today. Again, the more that we grow, the more that I'm going to be doing these every day. So please, by all means, stay on. Catch these sessions as much as you can because I'm going to be going over much more. Mondays, always slow. There's really not much to do on Mondays, honestly. And it's very boring when there's no trades to be placed. You're just like, But at the same time, I'm going to be doing these every day, and there's tons of knowledge and real information that's being given. Not just about trading or all about trading, but the little snippets, little tips like that, like today with the psychology aspect of if you're correct on your trade, you're making profits, and don't ask anybody else because they'll probably fuck you up. You know what I mean? That small little snippet and information is definitely useful. So the more people we have on, the longer we'll stay on, the more markets I'll identify. I'll even go ahead and start placing trades with you guys. I'll start giving you guys signals here. If you're not a part of the Discord, feel free to be a part of the Discord as well. So that way you can get updated. And if there is any free signals, anything else, I'll post that for you guys as well. But with that being said, looks like everybody's good. Nothing else in the chat. Looks like everybody's Gucci. I have been taking a look, but it looks like everybody's got it. So with that being said, guys, we'll conclude for today. For legacy students, be close to your Discord. I will be looking at the futures market. So if anything, I can also send you guys a futures signal, which our future signals have been absolutely fucking insane. We've been murdering the markets pretty much with this shit. So, and I'll also be looking for Forex signals and any Forex moves that could be made. So look out for those type of signals in the Discord if you are a legacy student on currently. If not, hopefully I'll see you on our next YouTube live session. So that way you can continue to grow with us, continue to learn, and continue to be more consistently profitable. But thank you guys. With that being said, we'll conclude for today. Catch back on first thing tomorrow morning and tell somebody you love them. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, everybody. Thank you.